Welcome to Musing with Tanya D. I am your host once again, Tanya D, and thanks for joining me and continuing on the nature series and the journey. At this point, I'm going to climb into the element of earth because we are almost into another earth transitional season at the end of summer or fire. And I want to talk about the organs and the purpose in the earth system. Now, earth being a transitional system, it is always in transition. It's kind of the hardest season to be born into. And again, you can go to my website, tanyad.tv, and click on energy and go to elements and go to the earth for some other suggestions and some other ideas and the seasonal changes. So in the earth element and the transitional season, the stomach and digestion are a huge part of that element. So we have the stomach, the spleen, the pancreas, and the pancreas is also associated with the spleen in the Chinese energy system. And those are the organs that take their energy from the element of earth. And they're also very essential for the digestive process in the body. And these digestive organs, along with their functioning, reflect the influences of our diet or what we eat, along with our mental activity and, of course, always emotions. So the stomach actually might just be one of the most sensitive organs in the body. And the entire digestive system is actually finely tuned in by the nervous system. So stress of any kind actually affects the digestive function. For example, the nerves govern the secretions of acids and enzymes and the movement of the digestive organs by speeding up or slowing down the transition of foods. The nervous system controls the assimilation of nutrients. So jittery nerves, apprehension, or overexcitement can actually cause rapid passage of food and then creates diarrhea. So when you have not enough time to assimilate your nutrients or even your thoughts, the slowing down of the intestinal mobility from uptightness, resistance, anger, or even holding on can lead to constipation. So where you overabsorb water and toxins from the colon back into your body. And the way the body is processing your food shows up in your moment-to-moment energetic state. So taking care with your diet, chewing well, eating a reasonable amount of food in a relaxed setting will do your body good. All of it. Bombarding your body with chemical pollutants or eating too many foods at one time, eating too fast, gulping your food down and on the run, you actually pay for it. Where the state of your emotions are closely linked to your eating habits and your ability to process food. So being emotionally upset or under stress, even a little bit, all affects your appetite and your nourishment. When you're feeling happy and you're clear, it actually stimulates your hunger and your digestive ability and the utilization and the appreciation of foods. And we all know in our Western culture here in the good old USA that the ability to relax, sit, and savor a meal without overeating is often a sign of content, healthy human being. The stomach receives the nourishment and it goes along to prepare it for further digestion, while the spleen and the pancreas in the Oriental model oversees the distribution and the nourishment throughout the entire body. So just as the entire body needs a balance of both activity and rest, so does your digestive system. Overactivity from too much or too frequent eating will overwork, weaken, and even wear out your digestive system. And you might even find that it breaks down to get the rest it needs. After eating and a short spell of relaxation, the body needs to move a bit. So take a walk, go dance, move. Movement actually aids in digestion, assimilation, and the distribution of nutrients. And the mouth being the sense organ associated with the earth element and the function of chewing and the initial enzyme breakdowns of foods are vital to great digestion. And the stomach, in turn, is the abdominal recipient of the chewed and swallowed digestive juices, consisting of the enzymes that help break down protein and milk products. The stomach also helps mix and churn the body's foods by its muscle wall activity. So the more enzymes and other substances to break down the foods are also secreted by your salivary glands in the pancreas and the gallbladder and the small intestine. That's why to chew your foods and chew them graciously into a simple usable component, which can then travel through the intestines where they get easily absorbed into the blood. So I like to practice chewing 30 times actually before you swallow, because it actually helps the enzymes in the body break down the food and cause less strain on the body in general. So combining certain foods is the mixing or the separation of foods at meals for the better digestion in the body, where the body can extract as much nutrition as possible. Now, the basic American eating habits and proper food combining appear to be a fanatic indulgence. Contrary to the concept of a balanced meal, we don't actually stop to think about a meal that provides too many foods as actually unbalanced in eating, and it can lead to faulty digestion, poor absorption, and fermentation in the bowels, making us gassy. So it's no surprise that the great industry of what we call dietary aids for the tummy, with seltzers for gas and indigestion, accompany our usual eating habits. So that's kind of an alert for you and your body. If you are overeating or not allowing your body to assimilate and digest easier, and you're having to take these seltzers, you might want to check out your eating habits. And for me, when I feel that way, I actually will cut that food out of my diet, because my body, it's doing a disservice. It's not giving it energy, it's actually depleting. So if I feel any tummy upsets, I generally stay away from those foods. And lately, all processed foods and dairy are very limited in my nutritional eating habits. So there's different kinds of digestive substances that actually break down different kinds of food. So food as stimulating the release of acids and enzymes, and it needs it for its own complete digestions. So when you think about it, nature has created the perfect system, and it's very simple, and to not mix foods together, as well as certain foods which grow together can be eaten together. And all foods eaten at the same time must be broken down to the same consistency before the stomach can actually begin emptying. Fats and proteins actually take longer to digest than carbohydrates. So, for example, simple fruits can take 10 to 20 minutes, while meats can take up to 45 to an hour and a half, depending on how well you actually chew them. And if fruits are eaten at the same time as meat, they will have an extra hour in your stomach. And during this time, that's where the fermentation takes place, introducing gas into your system and causing indigestion, belching, and sometimes cramps. So avoid mixing fruits with other foods, especially proteins. A simple list of foods in order of decreasing ease of digestion and increasing length of time in your stomach include fruits and vegetables and grains, seeds, nuts. I don't care for dairy products, and I'm limited on meats. But proper food combination over a whole day should really start with fruit early in the morning. And if you prefer grain cereal or other proteins for breakfast, you might eat this a half hour after the fruit. For lunch, suggest salads and vegetables, a milk product, meat, or a grain, and they all combine fairly well together. But for dinner, a whole grain with cooked vegetables and a raw salad gives you a lot of food, filling, and nourishment, which will digest well. Meat, cheese, or egg dishes instead of a grain or beans will also combine well with vegetables and even salads. Fruits in the morning and vegetables in the afternoon is a motto I follow. But a fruit snack in the evening or before bed works better than eating heavier foods and combining vegetables with most other foods that are alkaline and forming. So I always think of fruits as cleansers and greens as nourishers. So avoid sugary desserts right after other foods. That's never good. And melons, just so you know, they digest rapidly and they ferment easily in your stomach. So a melon appetizer or dessert is almost sure to create gas in your intestines. Where mixing more than one protein at a meal is hard on your digestive system. And milk does not combine well with other foods. Dairy products go best with grains or the green, less starchy vegetables. So I know there's a lot of talk about mucus-less diets and about acid or alkaline diets. But each food, when you metabolize it in your body, it breaks down into an acid or an alkaline element. And the body is normally slightly alkaline, the blood being about pH of 7.41. So mucus is considered to be actually related to acid-forming foods, also called mucus-forming foods. And we do need some mucus in the body for great function, but if your diet is too high in acid-forming foods that you're eating, the body can become too acidic and will produce excessive mucus, which then can be a medium for the growth of bacteria and other viruses. So excess mucus can create congestion, and that's the cause of so many illnesses. And the body's attempt to remedy this problem of congestion by the elimination of excessive mucus along with the acid elements through colds or sinus problems or even skin rashes is often mistaken as an illness. But the problem actually lies more in what you're eating. And it's really interesting that the acid-alkaline action is not necessarily related to how foods taste. For example, citrus foods taste acidic, but they're actually alkaline forming and are good to eat. Other alkaline foods include grains like buckwheat or millet, or lima and soybeans, which I love lima. Soy, not so much because we've harvested it under the belt, I'd say. I love honey, seeds, and I prefer coconut oils, even avocado oil. But most protein foods like meats and other animal and sea beings, eggs and milk products, butters, creams, nuts, nut oils, seeds, and many of the grains and sugars are all acid forming in the body. So a diet that consists of 70 to 80% alkaline forming foods will keep the elimination and the nervous systems actually healthier and strong. And you'll be able to work and relax easier with your entire body in energetic harmony. That means eating lots of fruits and vegetables. So for me, if I need a snack, I always have some frozen stuff, organics in my freezer, and I'll eat those late night or first thing in the morning, depending on my day. And you'll also notice like colds and infections, even chronic ones, will diminish as you move towards a more alkaline diet. Even if you're not sick, you'll notice a beneficial change. So with that said, try it and see for yourself. Go more for a plant-based eating habits. Thanks for joining me for this little musing podcast. I'm hoping to put a list of acid and alkaline foods below this podcast on my website. And again, thanks for liking, thanks for sharing, thanks for engaging, thanks for participating, and of course, musing with me, Tanya D. Have a beautiful day, my fellow musers.